I think the relationship between a historian writing and then at some point of time maybe make the leap and go into filmmaking, there's a link. And particularly in my case, the link comes from the fact that I was doing women's history ever since the women's movement began in India. In this last phase in the 80s, I veered towards writing on women. And the archive, as you all might know, is highly skewed. The archive, the historian's archive is basically a top-down, great men type of archive. And it's not easy to write histories of the marginal people, whether they are marginalized communities, and women do feature as a marginalized voice from the point of view of the public archive. So in a sense, when you start working on writing on women, you are actually struck by the inadequacy of the archive, the public archive, because there's hardly anything that you'd find in the big national archives and so on. And so that forces you to actually, but politically in any case, the lives of the great do not excite me as much as the lives of ordinary people. And actually it's the anonymous person who is the subject of my interest. It would be, and how can you write their histories, because their histories are not documented. They're not left behind sources of a certain kind. And a quiet little entry is actually the story of a completely unknown woman. And this person called Subasri, you could recover her only because she left behind an extraordinarily rich archive, quote unquote, which was in a trunk. It's fragments of paper left in a trunk that became the subject of history, in which her granddaughter recovered it. And later on, I felt this was an exciting project from the point of view of making a film on, because it was visually very powerful. The archive itself has a charge. The material, the fragments of paper, the writing of people whom nobody knows actually, but it's their handwriting, it's their the paper of their times and so on. It's quite exciting and fascinating to actually recover that material and then try and put those fragments together and make sense of a person's life, lived or unlived, because that would depend on whether they felt that they lived the lives according to their own choices, or they were circumscribed by other constraints. So it's actually, I think in a sense, my relationship to history is the continuum. I mean, it's that, and to women's history is the thread that links me as a historian with me as a filmmaker, because my films are really all about women, and really are fairly unknown women, and they are about uncovering the lives of people and their times. So it's really the times that they live in that is also exciting. That what are the choices that were available? How did these women live their lives?